In this video, we are going to configure layer 3 routing with the switch virtual interface. So first of all, here is my topology. So I will create 3 VLANs, for one for this VLAN 1 already created and one for VLAN 2, and to access the WAN we can create a VLAN 3 here to route packets. So let's start our lab. So first of all, this is a layer 3 switch, and I'm going to configure a second VLAN, because if you see here in the output, the FA0/1 port number is already assigned to VLAN 1. So I'm going to create a VLAN 2. So just I have to go to the interface. I need to assign port access VLAN 2 command. So this will create the VLAN 2 command and automatically assign it the FA0/2 interface. And I will give it some IP address here. So let's say I give it IP 192.168.10.2, and for gateway I am going to give 10.1. That will be the IP interface or IP of the VLAN interface, which will act as a default gateway for this VLAN 1. And on this PC I am going to give IP address of 20.2. So basically, if you remember the inter-VLAN concept, we already have done this lab in the NS3, and in inter-VLAN routing, we use one single interface and break it down to multiple logical interfaces. But in this lab, we are not going to create any physical switch, or we are not going to create any logical interface, but instead we will use the VLAN interfaces that will act as the logical interfaces. So first of all, I have to create a one VLAN for router. If you remember, in the inter-VLAN, this particular interface that is going toward the router need to be trunk, but in this SVI concept, this need to be access. So VLAN has been created, and the ports has been assigned. So now we are going to create the interfaces. So here are the switch interfaces, and VLAN 1 is already down. So we need to give it the IP address. So go to interface VLAN 1 and give the IP address 192.168.10. Subnet mask. Because we can't give IP address to the physical interfaces, that's why I'm going for this lab. We are going to give IP address to logical interfaces. So similarly for VLAN 2, we have to give a IP address that will act as a gateway to VLAN 2 PCs. This VLAN 3, we need to give IP address. So now all the IP addresses have been given, but still the VLAN will not forward the frames with each other. Like you can see here, you can only ping from here the 10.1 interface, but not 20 interface, because you have not enabled the routing. And also to demonstrate this concept further, let's say we need to manage the switch from a particular LAN. So I am going to create enable Telnet on this machine and on this switch. So you can Telnet from here, from your VLAN IP address, like this, but you can't ping each other. Like from here, you can also Telnet. So you can see you can't ping, but you can Telnet from your own just to manage the switch. So I am going to give this router IP address just to communicate with the VLAN 3. Because when we need to send packets toward the 10.1 or 10.2 PC or 20.2 PC, we need a router to access the WAN. So just wait. We need to give the IP address. So here you can see in the routing table, there is only one IP address that is listed. So if you want to enable all of these to communicate, first of all, we need to enable here the IP routing. Which is already disabled. So with this command, the IP routing has been enabled. And these virtual interfaces will now act as a gateway, which we can say it is switch virtual interfaces. That is the our concept. So now we will be able to ping the interfaces on both sides. Like if you want to ping this machine, you will be able to ping because IP routing has been enabled. But if this PC need to communicate with the WAN like router, so it will not be able to do because the router in its routing table doesn't have an address of 10.2 or 20.2 LAN. So we need to give it a route. Go to config T and towards its VLAN IP, sorry, router VLAN IP. And 20. So now you can see the static route has been installed and it will take this VLAN third VLAN interface as a gateway because this is the VLAN interface that is connected to the router and if you use some another gateway this will result in error and you will not be able to enter any route. So now if you want to go to the LAN, you want to ping the router, so you can ping. So from trace RT we can check what is the route that is being taken. So first your gateway and second is the destination because your multi-layer switch has the route to the 30 subnet. That's why. So this is the video. Thanks for watching.